The defense headquarters on Monday announced that Nigerian troops working alongside the United States Africa Command carried out coordinated airstrikes that wiped out more than 20 fighters of the Islamic State West African province in Nigeria's northeast region. Hi, welcome to What's Happening. These are our top 10 stories countdown today. At number 10, a Russian drone hit a Chinese cargo ship in the Black Sea overnight, Ukraine said Monday, a day before Russian President Vladimir Putin heads to Beijing to meet Xi Jinping. Kiev routinely announces Russian attacks on civilian vessels near the port of Odessa, a vital maritime hub for Ukrainian agricultural exports. But Monday's attack comes just ahead of Putin's two-day trip to Beijing, where he and Xi are set to deepen bilateral ties between the friendly nations. At number 9, polls say Mourinho is set for a sensational return to Real Madrid after reportedly reaching a verbal agreement to take over as manager. According to multiple reports, the Portuguese coach, widely known as the Special One, is understood to have agreed terms on an initial 2-year deal with the Spanish giant, pending the completion and signing of formal documents, as reported by Fabrizio Romano on X on Monday. Mourinho is expected to travel to Madrid following Real Madrid's final La Liga fixture against Athletic Bilbao, where final procedural steps will be completed before an official announcement. At number 8, commuters traveling along the Ilorin-Igbeti Federal Highway in Kwara State were left stranded on Monday after heavy flooding overtook the collapsed Moro Bridge, submerging vehicles and disrupting movement across the busy interstate route. The Punch gathered that the incident followed an overnight downpour that caused the Moro River to overflow its banks, leaving several vehicles trapped in flood waters, while desperate passengers reportedly climbed onto car roofs awaiting rescue. The affected bridge, located between Oko-Olowo, Mandala in Ilorin West, and Asa local government areas, had earlier collapsed on April 30th after a heavy-duty articulated truck reportedly passed over the aging structure. At number 7, ahead of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting scheduled for May 19th and 20th, 2026, the Central Bank of Nigeria has said that 63.3% of Nigerians want interest rates reduced. In its April 2026 Inflation Expectations Survey report, released by its Statistics Department under the Economic Policy Directorate on its website, 26.0% of respondents wanted interest rates retained at current levels, while 10.7% supported a further rate hike. The Apex Bank also noted that most respondents preferred lower borrowing costs despite persistent inflationary pressures across the economy. At number 6, Justice Joyce Abdulmalik of the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted bail to activist and social media commentator Justice Chidebere, popularly known as Justice Crack, in the sum of 5 million naira. Delivering ruling on the bail application, Justice Abdulmalik ordered that the bail bond must be backed by one surety in like sum. The court held that the proposed surety must reside within the jurisdiction of the court at a fixed address at least 4 years and must deposit proof of residence either through a tenancy agreement or certificate of occupancy at the court's registry. At number 5, Oyo State Governor Makinde has confirmed the killing of one of the teachers abducted alongside other victims in Ahoro Dada community, Orire, local government area of the state, pledging that the government would continue efforts to rescue the remaining abductors. Makinde disclosed this on Sunday after a security review meeting with his security advisors and service commanders over the abduction of 7 teachers and, as yet, unconfirmed numbers of pupils. Confirming the development, the governor said one of the abducted teachers, believed to be a mathematics teacher, was killed by the terrorists. At number 4, the Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday granted bail to former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai in the sum of 100 million naira over charges bordering on alleged breach of national security. Justice Joyce Abdulmalik, while ruling on the bail application, imposed stringent conditions for the former governor's release. The court held that the surety must reside in either the Maitama or Asokoro district of Abuja and must deposit the original certificate of occupancy of a landed property with the court registry. The judge further ruled that the surety must be a federal civil servant, not below grade level 17, and must provide evidence of salary payment for at least 3 months, authenticated by a bank manager within the court's jurisdiction. At number 3, the All Progressives Congress has published a list of 47 senatorial aspirants that are not cleared from contesting contesting in each Senate primary elections ahead of the 2027 general polls. The names of the affected aspirants were disclosed on Monday in a statement issued by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Felix Moka. According to the APC, the screening process was carried out by its designated committees in line with the party's laid down rules and procedures. The ruling party, however, did not disclose the grounds for denying the affected aspirants participation in the primaries. At number 2, the African Democratic Congress has appointed former governors Liliel, Imoke, and Abdulfatah Ahmed to head key committees that will oversee its presidential primaries ahead of the 2027 general elections. Under the new arrangement, Imoke will serve as chairman of the Presidential Screening Committee, while Abdulfatah has been named chairman of the Presidential Election Committee as the party moves to structure its presidential selection process. The appointments were announced in a statement on Monday by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, who said the decision was aimed at strengthening transparency, credibility, and fairness in the conduct of the primaries. At number 1, the Defense Headquarters on Monday announced that Nigerian troops working alongside the United States Africa Command carried out coordinated airstrikes that wiped out more than 20 fighters of the Islamic State West African province in Nigeria's northeast region. According to the military, the precision attacks targeted terrorist hideouts around Metale in Borno State after intelligence reports revealed the movement and gathering of insurgents within the area. In a statement issued by the Director of Defense Information, Major General Samalia Uba, the military described the operation as part of an intensified campaign aimed at crippling terrorist networks, dismantling their operational bases, and preventing fighters from regrouping. That's all for today. See you next time on What's Happening.